Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Chronograph Generation 2, reference 49150 in red gold, and it is red gold. Incredibly intense. The copper percentage must be immense in this 18-karat alloy. Now, the Generation 2 chronograph bowed back in 2004, and it bowed out after 2015. It's considered by many to be the high watermark of Vacheron sports chronograph design. As opulent as the third generation watch is, and it is a wonderful value for the features included, nevertheless, this watch is simply more attractive to many collectors, and you can see why. It's a wearable watch. Though 42 millimeters in diameter, it's a wearable cushion case design that feels smaller than it is. Unlike Royal Oak's Nautilus and Aquanaut models, all of which feel larger than their size, this one actually feels a size smaller than its 42. It's only 12.5 millimeters thick, which means with its sloped case flank, it will easily slip under a dress cuff, and a gold Vacheron should. The timepiece is nicely executed, and the lug-to-lug spacing is compact. With small wrists in mind, I talk about the execution of 50.5 millimeters across the wrist being designed with real human anatomy, not gigantic tree trunk lumberjack forearms in mind. Let's jump into the strap and talk a little bit about that strap. The first Overseas available on a strap bowed in 2009, and then the strap proliferated throughout the lineup, including precious metal ultimately, and that's what we have here. The strap is essentially built to look like an integrated bracelet. You can see that it actually thickens as it approaches the lugs, so the swell of the lugs in terms of thickness is matched, and then the taper of the lugs as they broaden approaching the case is matched as well. There's even an interlock in the form of the Maltese cross with a little bit of a bevel on each side to hammer home the resemblance to the bracelet. That's impressive. The strap itself is a comfortable piece, and you can see underneath it has plenty of evacuations to thin out the material, making it softer and more supple, but also to vent the wrist on hot days and prevent all of that clammy moisture from being trapped against your skin. The buckle is a handsome piece and quite substantial. You can see it's double finished internally with both satin finish blasted inboard and high polish. There's that Maltese cross motif again. You can see Vacheron making its own clasps these days with the maker's mark internal. Double deployant, it's very wrist friendly, so if you got that small wrist, there isn't a single up and over fold of a double deployant, or a single deployment I should say. The single can be a little bit of a wrist pincher if you have the small wrist. Now, you'll appreciate the fact that the clasp has a twin trigger system, so the twin triggers ensure that it can't pop open accidentally. It's nice to have a double deployment. It's even better to have a sure tight locking system. The triggers make sure this one stays shut. Appreciate the fact that there is a Maltese cross externally, then roll over the case and you see it again. It's in the motif of the bezel all the way around. It's on the tip of the crown. You can even see that the slash cut knurling of the chronograph pushers and crown resembles the Maltese cross. The timepiece featuring still more Maltese cross graphics on the dial, where a rose gold Maltese cross sits just beneath the faceted apertures of the double date that was a signature of the first two generations of Overseas Chronograph. Let's talk about the case for another second though, because it's a beautiful piece. Polished on its flank, there's a transitional polished bevel that runs from lug to lug all the way through the center of the case, and that's a handsome transverse styling cue. If you look in between the flared polished flanks of the bezel, you can see that there's vertical satin finish inboard of the polished outreaching Maltese crosses. Now, if you look at the flank of the case, you can see that there's a little bit of a continuation of the bevel of the lug into the strap, so no detail is overlooked. Jumping into the dial, it's handsomely dished. It's a dark ruthenium anthracite with red gold chapter rings for chronograph minutes, chronograph hours, and constant seconds. We may as well start this up. I will say that the Frédéric Piguet 1185 based Vacheron Constantin caliber 1137 in this watch is a pleasure to operate. The column wheel action is among the best in the industry. The hands, as well as the chapter rings, the logo, and of course the indices are all red gold, real 18 karat to avoid tarnish and oxidation over time. There is a chapter ring ray hot that slopes down to unify bezel and dial base, and you can see that there's a warm anthracite sunburst metallic that flares out from the center. Plenty of lume, rest assured. The case back, the full-rigged ship. It's the Italian naval training vessel Amerigo Vespucci. You can also appreciate that there are several different types of finish. Concentric brushed graining around the flank. There is a sort of imaginary center sunburst that radiates out around the ship, which features a frosted base, and then it's relieved and polished against that base. Inside, caliber 1137, automatic winding, unidirectional action, 40-hour power reserve, 37 joules, quick set date. It does not have hacking seconds, but it does feature both a column wheel and a vertical clutch, so you can start and stop the chronograph without any stagger or jump to the seconds hand and leave it running full time. Because of the vertical clutch, if you like to have your center seconds, just treat that as the seconds to the minutes and the hours at center. Ignore the chronograph and have your center seconds with full-time chronograph operation. 150 meters water resistant, solidly more than any Aquanaut, Royal Oak Offshore, or Nautilus, the only exception being the offshore diver at 300 meters. This one has a soft iron inner cage, just like a Milgauss, so it's also 25,000 ampere per meter anti-magnetic. A full set of features and a wonderful way to have your Vacheron warm and fully sports equipped with the water-resistant strap ready to take the plunge. See this one and make it yours on the watch box. Generation 2 Overseas Chronograph.